All right, camera speeds.
Good.
Set.
Scene 3, take 4.
Set.
And action.
As a guy, a videographer who liked to lone wolf it for so many years, having a crew on set is very difficult in terms of managing everybody and paying everybody and making sure that everybody's taken care of, which is your role as a director. But once you get everything rolling, it is a night and day difference, as you would expect. And if you've done your job as a director, you shouldn't have to do a whole lot on set. Alexander, back at you with another video. Today we're talking cinematography and directing and who you might want to hire if you are a beginner filmmaker. I am a beginner movie director. I am a videographer by trade. I've been doing it for 8 years. I know how to make my clients money. I know how to make myself money using a camera, but I am very beginner as a director. I've worked a number of different roles as an aspiring filmmaker, all to learn those roles so I can be a better director. That's the end goal for me. So today we're going to talk about my recent experience where I gave myself $5,000 and I was able to hire a crew and a cast of 17 people to make it happen. Let's get into it. I'm really talking to those of you who have been a videographer for some time and you've always had this itch in the back of your mind or your heart, wherever you have itches, to become a filmmaker. I got started in photography, which led to videography, which is ultimately leading to my dream that I've had since I was a kid of making movies. And I fell short of that plan. A lot of stuff happened in life. I joined the military, I got deployed, I was overseas for a while. I had a lot of excuses as to why I didn't become a filmmaker, but I'm tired of making excuses. And I said to myself about a year ago, I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna make it happen. I don't care if I look silly. I don't care if I'm behind the learning curve. I don't care. I'm just gonna do it. And since I made that choice, I have found a lot more enjoyment in my life, in my workflow. It just goes to show, as Quentin Tarantino said, if you're meant to do something, you can't help but to do it. So who do you want to hire as a director with a budget? Number one is a producer, someone that is good at planning, someone that is good at securing locations, helping you find talent. My producer, my wife, she did everything for me. She found the venues, she handled food for cast and crew, she handled the budget, she had a spreadsheet of everything that went in and everything that went out in terms of equipment and money.
I am the executive producer and then also being a producer and my own PA on set today. So setting up Crafty, making sure everybody had the call sheet, they got here on time, and then just like floating around, make sure everyone's doing well and that they're not having any issues that I need to address.
You want to find a producer that is good with numbers, good with admin, good with keeping everybody on track, good with people skills. And that's a lot to ask for out of one person, but that's why they get paid the big bucks, because a talented producer is well worth the money. Number two, it's obvious, but a DP. I already had the DP, and with that DP comes a first AC. If you can swing it, a second AC is nice, but for this project we had a DP and a first AC. If you're unfamiliar with what a DP is, he is a cinematographer, he or she. They are responsible for putting the director's vision on the sensor, on the big screen. C400 obviously, but
yeah, we have C400 with some Atlas Mercury's Anamorphics, 1.5x. We rig it up for like mostly like some handhelds, and then we can also put it on a dolly.
They choose their camera, they choose their lens. The director can be involved in that process as well. But the director of photography is somebody that is really the key person in charge for the visuals. And they are well-versed in composing a shot and again, choosing the right lens for the right shot. With that is the first AC. We call this the two together, the camera crew. And he was very experienced at his job. He had a very strong work ethic and he was well worth every dollar that I spent on him.
So my name's Robbie. I'm gonna be first AC today. So basically my job is to keep anything technical kind of hands off for Sebastian, so he doesn't have to worry about any of that. As you can see, I have my own monitor here. I get the direct feed from the camera with my Teardex, which have 0 millisecond latency, which is really good for pulling focus. And then I send this video signal out to the rest of the crew.
He built the camera, he built my monitor for me so I could direct and better view the footage that we were getting. He set up all the wireless transmission, and then he pulled focus and he did it very well. Next is script supervisor or first AD. I had my buddy Juan, who I've worked with many times on various projects, work in this regard. He's from old school Hollywood. He's been on big movie sets, much bigger than I've ever been on, and he knows the industry standard for how to keep a set clean, how to direct everybody, how to manage the crew, so I can, as a director, better focus on the storytelling. So the first AD keeps everything in line in terms of the script. He's also planning ahead, so getting the next scene ready, working with the actors or the talent or the gaffer, whoever, to get the next scene ready while I'm wrapping up on the other scene. They're also responsible for safety, which is a big consideration. Next, gaffer. A gaffer, without light, you don't have a picture. The gaffer, while it may not be necessary depending on the type of job you're doing, if you're shooting natural light, of course, but even then, a gaffer is vital for helping you get the best image possible. For the natural light scenes we did, the gaffer was also helping out, holding a reflector, holding diffusion, or holding negative fill, or setting that up for us so we could get a better image. Where light was required, it was so helpful to have someone, a dedicated person with an assistant that could just set up some lights. There was several scenes where we were mimicking sunlight coming in through the windows, and we could just tell him, hey, we want this scene to look like sunrise. And no problem, he adjusted the angles to make it the sun lower or the light lower coming in through the window, and adjusted the white balance so everything looked like sunrise. And I, as a director, didn't have to go outside or get on my app to control the lights as I'm used to as a videographer. He just handled it all for me, and it was so nice to have that kind of help on set. He also came with a 1/4-ton grip truck, G&E truck, and he had a plethora of supplies that we could pull from, and it was well worth it. I got halfway done editing my YouTube video and I realized I forgot somebody. Someone that's commonly just a fly on the wall on set, but vastly important to the success of your film, and that is sound, audio. The guy with a stick, the guy or the lady with a stick with a boom mic on it, much like this one. And it is one of those roles that is just kind of like tucked away, but without sound, without audio, you don't have a story. Sound can connect the visuals in such a way that you don't even realize.
I'm audio, if you couldn't tell. Yeah, I'll be booming and lobbing people and making sure everything sounds good.
And it's that little subtle thing in the background that's connecting your visuals, your brain, to the overall story. Next on the list is the set dresser. This was the first time I've ever worked with a set dresser, but I can tell you what a difference it makes. Set dresser brought all the necessary items that was on her in the pre-production meetings. We basically listed out, based on the script, what we would need. She said no problem, and she went out and got it based on the budget that we gave her. Moving down the list is grip. Grip is great for just general assist, setting up Dana dolly, for example, or setting up combo stands, assisting where needed. Grips are talented laborers that can really just help bring the set to function. You tell them what you want. I want the camera rigged over here. I want this, and they can make it happen. They're very crafty. Again, on the list is production assistant. Producer assistant is someone much like the first AD for the director that can just handle production. Little ankle biter jobs, such as getting catering delivered for everybody on set. While catering might sound like an afterthought to you, especially when you're just starting out in filmmaking and you have a very limited budget, trust me, you're going to have a much nicer time on set by providing food for everybody. And a lot of people can fill that role very easily, but it's very nice to have a production assistant. And lastly is hair and makeup. While this is mentioned last, it's certainly not the least important. Hair and makeup also is going to be vital on how your image comes out. Blemishes or skin or whatever might be a distraction in your production, so having a makeup artist that can work with you, covering over any blemishes, making someone look themselves, but the best version of themselves is great. It's also going to help allow your talent to be much more comfortable on screen.
Hi, so I am Shayla Monet. I'm a hair and makeup. Pretty light day, just like natural looking makeup, just waking up makeup, so nothing like super glam. I'm just making sure everyone is camera ready.
A good hair and makeup artist is also key. Lastly, going into key characteristics of a director and my experiences as a director on set, a lot of it is leadership based. You have to get out of the storytelling mindset for a minute to also learn how to work with people. And I mentioned leadership because my only other experience with leadership was in the military. You're in charge of people, and when you're in charge of people, that means you're not the boss over them. You're the person that takes care of them in an effort to get the mission or the job done. And that's really your role as a director. You shouldn't be barking orders at people. You shouldn't be telling people, hey, this is how it's done, or you're off the set. You really need to foster an environment that is enjoyable for people to work, because at the end of the day, we're making art. We're telling a story so that other people can enjoy it. And if the process is not enjoyable, what are we even doing? So you as a director, you're the person that's providing for everybody, telling a story to make other people happy or inspired. So with that in mind, I had a very hands-off approach to my role as a director. I hired everybody for a reason, and I said, this is how we're going to do it, and this is how I want the story to be played out. But other than that, you have free reign to do your job and bring your experience and your knowledge to it. And lastly, if you are starting out as a director, as a filmmaker, there is something to note of paying people. You can ask for favors all day long, there's nothing wrong with it. You might not have the budget, you might have a really amazing idea and you just ask some of your friends to help out. But at the end of the day, remember, again, you're taking care of people. Those free favors aren't going to last. That might help out once or twice, but you have 1 or 2 chances to really learn how to be a director and tell the story you want to tell before people are going to expect that you pay them. You know, if you want to be taken seriously in any sort of profession, you have to generate income and you have to pay people. I tried to make these videos to learn myself and to present knowledge to you all who might be in a similar boat. So please consider following because there'll be more videos to come. If this has been helpful, consider a thumbs up, and I wish you all the best in your creative endeavors. And until next time, I'll catch you in the next video.